what is spiritual warfare? This is a common question in Christianity. Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." Now, when we talk about human warfare against flesh and blood, it's fairly easy to understand what we're up against. We can understand the enemy, what kind of weapons they have. We have a general sense of the level of danger we're in at any given moment. But when it comes to spiritual warfare, we not only have little to no experience on the subject, but we can't see it with our eyes or feel it with our hands. Ephesians tells us, "Finally be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil." Verse 14, "Stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and as shoes for your feet, having put on the readiness given by the gospel of peace. In all circumstances, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming darts of the evil one, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying at all times in the Spirit, with all prayer and supplication." Through these verses, we not only get a glimpse into the type of battle that we'll be entering, but we're also given a clear picture of our weapon and our defenses, as well as the actions that we're supposed to be taken. Our defenses and our mobility consist of faith, salvation, righteousness, truth, and readiness to spread the gospel. And our weapon is the word of God. But Paul makes it clear that equipping ourselves is not enough. He calls for 3 key actions once we do. Number 1, stand firm. Number 2, in verse 15, we're called to be ready to spread the gospel. And 3, in verse 18, we are called to pray at all times in the Spirit. We may not always know every scheme of the devil, but God does. And he promises that these are the things that we will need to defeat him. Nothing that Satan can throw at us will be able to get through what God has given us, the tools that God has given us. And the closer that we draw to the Lord, the clearer the schemes of the devil will become, and the more able we will be to fight it.